advanced small arms and light weapons, the envoy added. Khovaev confirmed the Philippines and Russia are actively working on the acquisition of several Mi-171 Russian helicopters for the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP. Although it is too early to discuss delivery timelines and exact quantities, the diplomat said he believes the outcome of negotiations will be positive, and that Russia is ready to supply as many as you want, that is, as many as the Philippine government could afford. To interfere, to meddle into domestic affairs of other sovereign states. It's not possible at all, Khovaev said without explicitly referring to any other country. Everything will be done in compliance with international law. I believe this cooperation will contribute to regional peace and stability, the Russian envoy added.